Welcome back. It is the face of Friday night. Rather light one. David Pulkol must be somewhere in Karamoja. I wouldn't have been shocked if Pulkol or Romshana or Baguma appeared on the list of ministers. I don't know whether I wouldn't have been shocked, but I would certainly have been disappointed, possibly. I would say, how did I miss this as a journalist? For me, the disappointment is in not having known, at least having smelled before. And Betty Kamya, I wasn't. I think I actually expected better for her. I thought she was headed where Mr. Sekandi is, His Excellency. I thought she was headed there. So, well, you don't need a lot of experience to be vice president. What do you do as a vice president?
Yeah, that's precisely the thing. You need some experience not to do. And that's what many people, the mistake they make.
Well, but
including not walking on the red carpet.
So you mean the vice president doesn't walk on the red carpet? Just Romshana. Several of the other appointments. One of the appointments that seems to have excited Kampala is the appointment into that ministry that suddenly becomes number 3, I think. Because number 1 is the Ministry of Works that has received lots of money. Number 2 was the Ministry of Defense. Then you have education, and then for health. Education, 2.2 trillion, I think, if I'm not wrong. I'll look at my figures here. And we have Janet Kataha Museveni, all the way from Karamoja.
Yeah. In our previous conversations, I had raised the use of the collapse of the Ruero consensus when they were in the bush. That Ruero consensus collapsed and gave way to the family consensus. And there were 2 families that dominated the political space. The Mr. Museveni Trinity, basically him, the son, who is now a Major General, and the mother, then was Karamoja. And the Amam Babas, which had no son but had a daughter, I think Nena, and also a mother. Now the Amam Babas family collapsed and ejected. So we have now remained with one family, but which is extended. So if you analyze the whole of this cabinet, you will monitor the extended family. It's another extended family cabinet. But why is she being modeled the way she is? What is the future like? Because you see, she left Ruhama as a member of parliament. Yes. She left. She retired active politics at that level. So you begin with, she was very magnanimous. She went to ground where there was no food, and she has left it the supplier of food to the world. That propaganda had begun. You're not aware. You want me to mention?
What do you mean?
They had started that propaganda that she found Karamoja finished, and by the time she left, it was green, it's green, and it is supplying the world food. That propaganda was there. Now, the narrative in the Ministry of Education is corruption. It's collapsed. Within 2 years, it's going to be classic. So where then is she heading? So we may be looking at Mho's project that has led to the collapse of many, including the incarceration of Mr. Tinyefuza, and you end up with another Hillary Clinton around here. But let's watch the space.
Which is not criminal, I'm told.
I haven't suggested that. I haven't suggested that. But in education and sports is where my kid is where your kid is. And in the long run, it's control of our minds. I saw the other day Mr. Museveni meet with owners or proprietors of private institutions over the issue of taxation when they're proposing private schools. And you know, it's a huge force. It's a very powerful force. So as a tool of mobilization, there you are. By then, it also has a lot of money. You have networks, of course, as you have said, it's, I think, and you have...
Which issue, by the way, is where I totally disagree with the concept of management of this economy. You wake up and say that Richard Waguma, that is trading in milk and is making money, should be taxed when he makes a profit on his milk. And Peter Kivazo, who has built a school and has 1,000 children there and is making a profit, should not be taxed because him is offering a social
but you
service.
see,
It's such hogwash.
But you see, the issue is how the said private proprietors of those schools link with teachers, a host of teachers. That's a huge network the country over. You see the impact it has when they go with their teachers union and the parents. So it's a huge network politically. It's like the Ministry of Local Government, how rich it is in terms of networking with the ground.
That is power how many?
Yes.
Is that power 12 or power 15?
I know defiance corrupts, so we don't need to. So this is, so I look at them as branding, because you remember when in the Ministry of Education you had that scandal of Gavi, and who was, yes, Gavi, the Gavi scandal where Jim Wezi, Kamujisha.
That was in health.
So Minister, I've said Minister of Health.
No, you said education. Carry
No,
on.
Minister
It
of
was a
Health.
slip of the tongue.
It is okay.
There was the Minister of Health, there was the Gavi scandal, and who was the driver of this, the center of gravity was Alice Kaboyo from the extended family. So and what was the money for? Mass mobilization, to do political mobilization. So you would have a lot of programs there to do political mobilization. You remember the complaint of Mr. Museveni over Mambaba's branding exercise books, and he was and sets, mathematical sets for children. So there is a lot to do with mass mobilization via the Ministry of Education. So I don't want to look at them wanting to increase the quality of education sector, but rather how do you exploit it to do mass mobilization for their agenda in the next 5 years. And that of course goes with sports, because now of recent they've become the lovers of sports and would want to identify with any achievement where they will not even have invested. Why? Because people are so passionate about sports. The other one is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Couldn't it be, Charles, hold on there. Couldn't it be that actually for people in the education sector, because I need to look at the positive of this. If Charles Romshana deploys his wife, like Mr. Museveni has done, or General Museveni as it were, if you deploy your wife, you want it to perform at the very best, so that everyone says, wait a minute, when Mrs. Museveni was there, education performed at its very best. So in terms of resources, in terms of the spotlight, the Ministry of Education, by design and or default, is actually going to become a beacon within the cabinet.
No, their study reveals that people don't appreciate quality to vote them. People want direct cash. That's their study. That's why where she was in the Ministry of the Prime Minister's office, there was massive corruption.
She wasn't the Prime Minister.
No, but she was in the same ministry.
But she had a docket of Karamoja.
Oh yes, you see the Prime Minister's office runs those programs. They were also affected in the Kazinda corruption. And the permanent secretary who should have accounted, who is supposed to have arrested the rats, was merely a whistleblower and went for a different program altogether.
I'll hold you there and come back. I'll come back. Richard, education. Education, reading Andrew Morton, who I went back to read because of a bit of the night dancers on the social media.
The fiber dancers.
Yes. Someone wakes up and says that Mzee Daniel Toretich Arap Moi has gone to his maker and...
He said you take it with a pinch of salt?
Well, it has to be a spade, really. It can't be a pinch. It has to be a spade of salt. But... so I went back to Andrew Morton, and I've read Andrew Morton, I don't know how many times, The Making of an African Statesman, when he writes about President Moi. He says that when Moi takes government in 1978, everyone is singing the goods of Kenyatta, how Kenyatta had managed the economy, how Kenyatta had... And Moi, as a primary school teacher, focuses on particularly education, and by the way, I'm a beneficiary of particularly education. He builds new schools across Kenya, what are called the Umoja schools, the new schools, brand new. And the people of Kenya do not take to them. By 1981, they don't think you've done anything big. You've built schools, so what? He primes girls' schools. and Moi was very passionate about girl education. And people still say, you educate a girl to do what? The next biggest thing that Moi does, and that is 1981, is he offers a quarter liter of milk to every child in Kenya. The Kenya Cooperative Creamery is ordered that every child in school shall get a quarter liter of milk. And the Turkana that had not taken their children to school sent children to school, not to study, to go and drink Moi's milk. Everyone comes to school to drink Moi's milk. By the time of the attempted coup in 1982, Kenya has moved over. They have changed from Harambe Nyayo, which was Harambe Oye, to Harambe Nyayo. Now Moi is the darling. Could this be the moment that President Museveni has focused? One, the largest number of this population currently are people under the age of 18. They're the biggest population, and they are in school. And you're looking at possibly building posterity, possibly a Clinton project, a Hillary Rodham Clinton project. And this is where the numbers are. This is where the people are. If you're going to shove your way in, I'm handing you the baton. Try your game. Is this a new Moi project?
Yeah, but let's for a second, as usual, trying to second guess or third guess President Museveni, say, okay, that's it. And the children get milk.
They come to school to drink.
They come to school
to drink the
milk,
Janet or Museveni milk
and go and actually study.
By the way, Wagogo is building something to do with milk processing, so I wouldn't be surprised also.
So, because I have had
My friend Mia Ruhanga has been in it before him.
Yeah, but also there are many others. The late
Murwana.
Absolutely. Would we ignore him? Maybe we would. You know, because that wouldn't add to our argument. But you see,
No, they would find his milk contaminated.
probably. But you see, the question, for example, of milk to school children is something that has come up several times. Yes. Yes.
So it would be called Wanava.
Yes. Yeah. Years back. I think.
And
I
my
think
friend
that
Haruna Kanabi has mentioned when we were with Charles Romshana that actually in the 70s, when Idi Amin was president of Uganda, they partook of free milk in school.
I wanted to say that. I said that somebody will say this was stolen from Idi Amin. That's probably will be the next question. This is not new, it was stolen from Idi Amin.
But I'm told, but that's why Dairy Corporation was crushed.
Yeah, probably.
Because that deal is there.
Probably,
Probably
but for me,
program or
but for me, if the milk can happen and bring children to school, why would I condemn that? That for me it would be my question, because I want the children to go to school. I want the children to go to school and get a quality education. So if that is what is going to be the result, then so be it.
So be it.
Yeah, so be it. The other thing is that
Does it come with a big torch on the ministry?
when let's take Karamoja. No, let's not take Karamoja. Let's take Uweso. Because the first lady is there, you will see donors, you will see diplomats jostling for a photo opportunity with the first lady. They will be jostling not because they love the first lady, because then the media will capture that, but this is also the photo they send back home. Look, we are doing high-level advocacy. We are recognized by the government of Uganda. So this is what the money has done. Give us more. And the projects will go where she is. It is, again, the politics of financing, of donors, of diplomats. This is the politics. It's the photo opportunity. I mean, look, I work in this area, as you know.
You trade in that area.
Yeah, NGO related, development financing, UN related. I see I will be quoted, not because these guys care about me, but because they think I can invite a certain level of guest of honor. I will be quoted, they will come that we should be partners in this. Oh, yeah, excuse me, which partnership? But this is where I operate too. So that's the environment, that's the context. I go along. It's only that I read what then is it there that also promotes my agenda. And that's critical.
Next question, Richard.
And this is what is going to happen. In education, you're going to see people lining up to contribute to the education sector because they are looking for this photo opportunity, for this influence, for this. Let me tell you, for influence, political influence, I saw this when I operated with Mr. Rumshana. I could determine a decision of Mr. Rumshana because he could come and say, okay, so what do we do? He said, oh, what do we do? What do we do? And then,
Man, it is when they gave me a Mercedes-Benz of the Vice Chancellor to go and unlock the account that had been frozen.
So he said, okay, so this one, what do we do? And you take a position and he takes that one. Now imagine, so I go to tell people that there is only the first lady that I think who can go to the president and say, but I told you this thing, I didn't want it here because this is her house. The others will not do that. This thing, but I told you I didn't want this thing here, now you have done it, and she will walk out. The others dare not. So that influence, people know it.
That's what I'm saying.
And they will want to come.
And
they will want to come to it.
We are led not by the institutions of the state, but by family.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
because
it's family business.
No.
I'm listening to you.
No, but you
and
see,
I hear the good that you tread with the coming of the First Lady. And indeed it is true, possibly, that all this is going to come.
That's also not
but
correct.
it reduces us from the state to
The
a
family.
lobby level of the family. So tomorrow when we need something good to happen to the Ministry
can
of
I interrupt
Health,
you?
we
Can I
must
interrupt
move
you?
the First Lady from education to health.
Can I
You see,
interrupt
the
you?
same family,
Can I interrupt
the
you?
same family is in charge
Can I
of
interrupt
Marago
you?
Hospital. Marago Hospital is renovated.
Can I interrupt you?
Yes.
We know that when certain people wanted certain men to take certain decisions and the men were refusing, they sent their wives. These were institutional men, very high level men, and we know them, me and you.
I don't know whether the ones you know are the ones I know. I don't.
And we know them. Charles Rumshana is constrained again. Look at how he's looking at you and say, you know,
I want him to say no, and I say
you know.
I will say
so,
no. Was I with you at Serene?
This thing
Well, you
of
take
working through the influential, significant others around you, we do it in advocacy, and we do it, by the way, Chiwazo, in behavior change communication. We target the significant others in somebody's life. So for me, to say that this is not happening elsewhere, in church, that it is not happening, that in business, that it is not happening, that's not true. And it is going to happen here, not because the people love the First Lady very much necessarily, but they also want to take advantage of her presence there.
Charles Rumshana.
yes.
One of the other ministries, because you know Baguma raises this, you move the First Lady from Karamoja and you send their engineer Byabagambi. Quick observations. Byabagambi.
If you allow me, there are, of course, we'll come there, but much obliged the boss. But allow me look at, you know, there are other ministries that have been remodeled. Yes. One, like the Ministry of Lands, it has gone to Amonji Betty. And Amonji Betty is basically Dr. Apple Milton Obuti. That's the family. The husband is UPC, president
President of the
Rio,
UPC.
who had even refused to shave until there was multipartism.
Well, but he traded in. The other day he came and agreed that the UPC has obliged and it is going to support the NRM.
Yes, very good. So thanks that you have taken the
He's
shortcut.
born again.
Thanks that you have taken that shortcut. But who was in lands before? The one who was in lands
Daudi
before?
Migereko.
Before Daudi Migereko was Omara Tubu. When there was controversy over the land amendment,
In Amuri.
land amendment bill, to do with Banja holders and Mengo, the monarch was up in arms. It was Omara Tubu who was on the front line. So when there was controversy over land and the land reform, it was Omara Tubu. I don't want to talk about his identity because we had those issues to do with Orania and the others of Akadaga. We had that debate, so we shouldn't go back. So now you have Amuru land, you have women stripping naked over land, Amuru and Teso, and you now send it there. So they are the ones who are, the Obote family is going to be on the front line over Amuru land. So if someone is going to strip naked, it will be before Dr. Apollo Milton. Yes. Now, the other one is defense. And with defense, they have added veterans.
Veteran affairs.
Yes. But why has it been shifted from Rwenzori? Because initially it was with Crispus Chionga. Now they've shifted it from Rwenzori and given it to Toro. And at the same time, they have also put Butimi. Now, Major Butimi is original NRA. But when they put Butimi before, it was to do with ADF. And then the Butimi is mobilized the operation as a bulwark against the ADF.
Then Butimi was in internal affairs.
Yes, yeah, mobilized that bulwark against the ADF. So and Butimi was working with Tumukunde. Tumukunde was CMI, Chief of Military Intelligence. So you now have Mwesige, Adolf Toro. You have Butimi, Toro, which in my view I think signals the shift of Mr. Museveni from battling the insurgency in the Rwenzori region with its attendant base in the Congo, from the Rwenzori region now to Toro. In my view, it's strategic retreating. And what's interesting is that they now add veterans. Because the initial veterans were under Operation Wealth Creation of Mr. Kere Bakandwa. And it came at the same time, if you remember, with the resolution of the Buganda question, giving them the titles and then giving them money and allowing the Kabaka to move and consult, visit his constituency, the kingdom. So I therefore see a preparation to battle an emerging insurgency. If you have been following what is going on now in the social media in relation to those fellows they are arresting, those who are appearing before police, but to mention but a few. So what are they now going to do with the veterans? And why give veterans to Major Bright Rwamiram? Of course, who is also part of the extended family. It's part of the extended family. And of course, you have the militias, the crime preventers, the militias, to mention but a few, and the private security firms. If you look at most of the private security firms, it's also extended family.
I'll take a break. Viewers, as I'm taking that break, Chaz mentioned something, and someone asked me, a priest that says he's very apolitical, a priest in the Catholic Church. He asked me the other day and said, Peter, there is a time we had SPCs, Special Police Constables, and there was a lot of furore in Kampala and Hula Baloo about them. And he says, I don't remember. When were they phased out?
They were LODUs, they became special police constables.
So he poses
now
that,
they're in police.
and then asks me, what is happening to the crime preventers? Are they still there? Have they been phased out? I haven't seen them pass where I stay these days. And I was angaz. And then now Charles mentions, possibly they've become veterans as well. Don't go away.